To Queensland now, and the lessons to be learned by businesses from the devastating floods up there. Hundreds, large and small, were hit, losing stock, fittings and in some cases entire buildings. Those that have survived are on a long path to rebuilding, some faster than others. Here's Emily Stewart.
Norris Lewis thought his Brisbane business had escaped the worst of January's floods. But a sharp turn by joyriders in a powerboat sent a piece of floating timber through the front window.
That caused the window to totally collapse and the water to enter very quickly to about 1.5 metres high throughout the tenancy. We were very disappointed with that.
The floodwaters damaged stock, fittings and machinery at the Rosalie Gourmet Market, yet the business was only closed for 11 days. The total damage bill was just under $100,000, but Mr Lewis says it would have been around $500,000 if he hadn't had a detailed flood plan. He says all businesses should have a natural disaster plan.
So we had in the plan details of transport arrangements, packaging arrangements and storage arrangements all detailed, even down to the type of plastic bag that we'd be using to cover the trays of stock.
Choosing the right insurance cover is a key component of any plan. And while Norris Lewis hopes to claim from his insurer, many haven't been so lucky.
About 91% of these businesses are small and medium-sized businesses, and traditionally they tend to be underinsured, so that's certainly one of the main challenges they are confronting in the short to medium term.
A business plan should also include how to deal with cash flow problems arising from no income, yet plenty of expenses as the rebuilding process begins. Dr Antoine Hermans says some financial institutions can be flexible with repayments after a natural disaster, but he says owners need to think about the source of their future cash flow.
The first thing they really need to do is to ensure that their customers understand where they're at the present time and contact their customers as well.
As well as cash flow, business owners need to address their biggest expense when rebuilding, staff costs. Norris Lewis kept his 26 staff on. Dr Antoine Hermans says this was wise, and if possible, recovering businesses should plan to hold on to staff.
We have an Australia-wide skills shortage, and with the restructuring in other sectors, of course, once you lose your staff, it's going to be very, very difficult to replace them.
The final step in a recovery plan should look at marketing to re-engage old customers and bring in new ones.
When we reopen, we'll put signs on street corners to send an email out to people to advise them, to get balloons out and things like that, just to make the attention to the fact that we'd been reopened.
Meanwhile, Dr Hermans says large enterprises should give a helping hand.
I believe this has to be a collaborative effort, and I believe that having advice from large businesses is invaluable. Small and medium-sized businesses are far more flexible and very entrepreneurial, but they certainly can learn a lot and gain a great deal of understanding of how to overcome short-term crises like this from large businesses.
So despite a challenging time ahead, it's hoped many small businesses will begin to flower again soon.